Nigeria was supposed to be Africa's greatest success story. A giant, one people, one future. But sometimes, nations do not collapse all at once. Sometimes they crack slowly, quietly, from wounds nobody wants to confront. And in Nigeria, one wound still bleeds more than 50 years later. The Nigerian Civil War, the Biafran War, a conflict that killed millions and left behind a pain this country has never fully healed from. Nigeria was only 6 years old, still trying to understand itself, still trying to become a nation. Then came the coup. Prime Minister Tafawa Balewa was killed, northern political leaders assassinated, and almost immediately, suspicion poisoned the country. In the north, many believed the coup was an Igbo plot, and then came the revenge killings. Thousands of Igbo civilians were attacked in northern cities. Families disappeared overnight, men were dragged from buses, women fled carrying babies on their backs, children watched their fathers die in front of them. Train stations overflowed with frightened Easterners trying to desperately return home. Every arriving refugee carried another horror story, another massacre, another missing relative, another body abandoned by the roadside. Writer Chinua Achebe would later describe this moment as the collapse of trust between Nigerians. And for millions of Igbos, Nigeria no longer felt like home. It felt like danger. Then emerged one man, Lieutenant Colonel Chukwuemeka Odumegwu Ojukwu. Educated, confident, defiant. To many Easterners, Ojukwu was not just a politician. He was protection. He was a shield, a voice saying, "You deserve to live." Nigerian leaders met in Aburi, Ghana, in January of 1967. One final chance for peace, one final opportunity to save the country. But the negotiations collapsed, and by May 30th, 1967, Ojukwu declared the Independent Republic of Biafra. For the eastern region, it was not merely secession, it was survival. But for the Nigerian government under Yakubu Gowon, allowing Biafra to leave could destroy Nigeria forever. And so, the guns came out. July 6th, 1967. War. Real war. Villages burning, fighter jets screaming across the skies, children running barefoot through forests, teenage boys carrying rifles bigger than their bodies, mothers digging shallow graves, entire families living under trees. The world watched Nigeria tear itself apart. But nothing would become more horrifying than the hunger. The blockade around Biafra cut off food and medicine, and slowly, children began to die, not from bullets, from starvation. The images shocked the world. Tiny arms, swollen stomachs, eyes too weak to cry anymore. Kwashoko. An entire generation wasting away before television cameras. Inside Biafra, hunger became a living thing. People boiled leaves, ate rats, ate lizards, anything to survive. One survivor would later say, the hunger was worse than the bombs. And perhaps the most painful part of all was that these were Nigerians, starving Nigerians, watching other Nigerians blockade food from reaching them. Writer Chinua Achebe later recalled how his wife witnessed a bomb strike a crowded market, killing a pregnant woman instantly. Poet Christopher Okigo abandoned literature and joined the battlefield. Well, he died fighting near Nsukka. Students became soldiers, teachers became refugees, children became statistics, and somewhere inside all the chaos, Nigeria lost a part of its soul. By 1967, Biafra was collapsing. The starvation had become unbearable. Cities had fallen. Hope was disappearing. Then finally, Biafra surrendered. The war was over officially, but emotionally, spiritually, psychologically, the war never truly ended. Today, more than 50 years later, the wounds are still visible. Many Igbos still feel excluded from the center of Nigerian power, still feel distrusted, still feel like guests in a country they helped build. And for many Eastern Nigerians, one fact continues to symbolize that pain. Since Nigeria's return to democracy in 1999, no person from the southeast has become president, and no Igbo politician has become vice president either. To millions, it reinforces the feeling that the region remains politically marginalized, not conquered, not accepted, just tolerated. And this is the uncomfortable truth Nigeria must face. A nation cannot truly heal while a major part of it feels permanently excluded. Unity is not forced by flags or national anthems or even speeches. Unity comes when people feel seen, represented, trusted, included. The Civil War may have ended in 1970, but reconciliation is still unfinished because healing is not silence, healing is acknowledgement. Healing is fairness. Healing is making every Nigerian, north, south, east, and west, feel like they belong equally in the story of this country. Nigeria cannot change the past. The dead will not return. The children lost to hunger will never grow old. But perhaps, just perhaps, the country can still change the future by building a Nigeria where no region feels forgotten, where no tribe feels unwanted, and where the wounds of Biafra are finally treated not as forbidden history, but as a painful lesson, a lesson written in blood. Because if Nigeria is ever going to become truly united, it must first learn how to remember and how to forgive.